Meet Lewis Jones, a former logistics manager who, after facing redundancy, decided to take a leap into Airbnb. With zero experience, he turned a chance mentorship with me into a £1,100 profit in just 4 days.
You structured everything so well, and you knew exactly what needed to be done. It cut out probably 2 months worth of time, so it was a great decision.
Today, he's not just earning extra money, he's building a full-time Airbnb business. As Lewis said,
my mindset now is completely different. Like, I come into it, you'll probably remember, and I was like, I just want to earn kind of 400 or 500 quid a month. And now I'm like, I want to go full-time with the business.
And this is how he did it. So, for people who don't know you, who are you, what's your name, and what do you do?
So I'm Lewis Jones. I work for a pharmaceutical company as a line manager. I approached yourself due to kind of interest, kind of research and interest kind of I'd seen online just about the potential to earn more. And obviously that's where we kind of reached out and where it started, really.
Yeah, defo. So what made you want to start an Airbnb, would you say?
I think the potential to earn money, to be my own boss. Obviously, there's always challenges to it, but I think just to have kind of my baby, so to speak, it's my business. It's my kind of, if it's going to fail, it's going to fail because of me. You know what I mean? So that it's kind of all for me to kind of attack, really.
100%, bro. That was exactly the same for me. Like, I remember when I was on HS2, and I was just like, you know what, I just can't be asked to have to go somewhere. When someone tells me, I was like, oh, you got half an hour break now. It's like when you've got your own business, it's like you decide when you have a break. You can, and obviously once you've built it up, you can really sort of do what you want. So that was always a driving factor for me as well, mate. So Lewis, what did you say you were doing before the mentorship? So you were in pharmaceuticals, are you?
Yeah, so basically what happened was I was working for another company, like a logistical company, as an operations manager. But basically, due to redundancy, I then got another job, which I didn't really enjoy as much, but my hours changed, so I was finished earlier every day, which is the reason why I decided to kind of free me time with the redundancy money, and I kind of had an opportunity, and I thought about buying a property. I looked at that and I thought, could I buy a property? But the majority of my savings would have been sunk up for 300 or 400 quid a month, where with the rent to rent model or the management model, it gives you a real platform to scale, to earn in excess of 300 or 400 pounds a month, and I've had me first property. I got my first property over the line at the start of the month, maybe back end of last month. It was live for 4 days, and I got a booking for 2,900, which is like 1,100 profit for October. So an incredible start, and it kind of opened my eyes, because until you start, Luca, and until you're actually in it and you're at that stage, you're kind of like, it's still a bit of the unknown, but then you just kind of trust in your instincts a little bit. And it was a great decision.
If you want help executing this, if you want me and my team guiding you through every step until you sign your first deal, click the link in description and book a call. We don't just teach you the systems, we work with you on a one-to-one basis until you win. The link's below, don't wait. So what would you say, so how long were you actually looking into Airbnb before you started working with myself?
Probably kind of on and off for a couple of months, really. Like I said, I was looking at all sorts of different strategies that could kind of fill me time a little bit in the afternoons, and then I fell across one of your videos, to be fair. It was like fate. And I fell across one of your videos, and and obviously you messaged me as well, and it just kind of, and I don't think I messaged straight away, but I did a bit more research and kind of then reached out to you, and the rest is history, But I think you've got such an opportunity to kind of earn some really good revenues, and build quickly, scale quickly, before you know it. If you're in the right location with the right properties that have the right kind of the driveway and the bathrooms and the bedroom sizes and stuff, if you've got the right properties and right location, which you help me with, quickly you could be earning profit, couldn't you? Could be earning kind of 2, 3, 4 grand profit a month, really, really quickly.
100%. You've sort of seen the blueprint now, like you've been through the whole process. So it's like, it is just sort of like a rinse and repeat, isn't it? Once you've got the tools and you know exactly what to do, You know, you just have to do it once, and it's sort of like, right, now I know I can just go on and do that again. The whole process, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. You know, it's like it's now I've seen it's worked. You know, and I'm like, wow. You know, it's a really good opportunity to, like you say, rinse and repeat. And the next time's always easier anyway. You know, but the first time I had
Yeah.
you to guide me anyway, so like it made it a little easier. And then once you're kind of on your own and you're doing it, you've already had kind of the learnings from yourself. And I'm sure you're only ever a message away. And I don't doubt that you'd. If I message you and said, "Oh, I've got this. What do you think?" You wouldn't say, "No, go away." You know what I mean? I'm sure you'd go,
Nah, of
yeah,
course,
show me a bit of support. You know what I mean? So,
what
but
would you say was holding you back from starting or scaling your Airbnb business like before?
the fear, isn't it? The fear of failure, the fear of getting into a position where you're financially stuck, or you're worse
Yeah.
off, or all the little fears. And of course, one thing I'd probably advise is don't tell too many people when you first start off, because I
Yeah.
never mentioned. I told my partner, who's been brilliant. You know what I mean? She's been proper supportive. Couldn't ask for more. And did I tell anyone else? I don't think I did. I literally told my parents this weekend, just gone. I was like, "Oh, I've got started a business, this, that, the other," because they'd have probably just maybe tried to talk me out of it, or just been very negative. Not in a bad way, just because they're
Yeah.
worried. I'd probably,
Of course.
if you're set on it, go for it. Don't start telling everyone, because everyone has an
No.
opinion and they don't know anything about
Yeah.
it, so they don't really
Sometimes
know
it's negative.
the ins and outs.
So yeah, that's why I always say, like, you shouldn't really listen to anyone unless they're in the position that you want to be in, or they've
Yeah.
been and done what you want to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because how can somebody that hasn't tell you what to do, you know? But yeah, so Lewis, talk to me a little bit about like the deals, about like negotiating with the landlords, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think again, it can be quite daunting at first, can't it? You know what I mean? But the
Yeah.
truth is, we're giving them a service, aren't we? At the end of the day, we're giving them a service that they're not going to get from a standard tenant. They're just not. And like the
No.
landlord of the property I've got now is like amazed. He's like he asked for a viewing round it before it went live.
Yeah.
And he brought his wife with him, and he brought another potential business partner who's got a property that's interested in investing with me again. He's got a property that he's interested in giving me at some point, and they were just like gobsmacked because I took it. It needed a full paint, it needed a professional clean, it needed like a new sink and stuff, and the majority of that, you don't have to, do you? But the majority of it, I kind of just ate and kind of, financed it for the landlord to get myself in a position of power. Because action is trust. He's now in a position where he's like, wow, this guy's, I've done the right thing giving him a property because he upgraded it. The level of it's better. It's furnished fantastically, and it's an asset to him. And kind of something I said to him is, it's an asset for me as much as for you. So, which you won't get with a standard tenant.
100%.
So
I think that's why you had so much success as well, because like you're on a personal level with the landlord, and you're actually looking to provide value to the landlord. A lot of people just go in and they're just like, oh yeah, look, we can do this, that. But you were talking to them like on a level, like you genuinely wanted to help them, and you genuinely have helped them. I think that's why a lot of your successes,
Yeah, I think you've got to be like that with them as well. You can't selfishly go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to make loads of money. You can't. You've got to look at it like, I'm there to help the landlord as well, because you're like partners almost at that point, because they're putting a lot of trust in you. You know what I mean? It's alien to them. It's really alien to them as well.
That's it. And Lou, how long was it from when you were working with me that you got your first deal?
I had a couple that fell through, didn't I think the first one was a couple of weeks, wasn't it? 2-3 weeks, maybe, something like that. And then the company couldn't go ahead. The one that I've got now, my property I've got now with the landlord now, I think it was about 4 to 6 weeks, maybe, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was just over 4 weeks, mate. Which is absolutely insane. You have got the crown for the quickest deal, because somebody else that was very close, it just fell through. So you still got the crown. You're still the king of the jungle.
Fair enough. I did see it on your thing the other day.
Yeah, mate, it's absolutely insane. Like, to think that we were on a call together, onboarding. Like, you sort of didn't really know too much about the strategy, and now it's like you're just up to speed with everything, you know. You've got your own unit, which you've also made £1,000 profit within the first few days of it going live. And you've literally just listened to everything I've told you about, like setting up the listing, you know, and you've trusted in me, and now it's paid off. It's just insane. But hats off to you for all the work, because you've literally implemented everything. It's just amazing to see, mate.
And obviously back to yourself, mate. Honestly, appreciate all the guidance you've given me. I couldn't have done it without you, because what you've done is you've looked after me with the actual building of the business. So all the setting up around it and everything, wouldn't have had a clue. Had a clue. And you know, the app that you use as well, and that you kind of, once I've come on board with you, you've onboarded me. Yeah. You've got like what's it called, Lucas School? Is it School? It's called School, something like that.
Yeah. So the course where it's sort of broken down, obviously in sections for you.
Just break everything down, and I can go back. And what's good as well is we'll have a call, but you'll also kind of you'll record it. So like any information that you're giving me, I can then play back and watch. And there's different stages to it in there. So there's the actual building of the business. There's then obviously going out and getting the viewings, which can be quite tricky. And then there's actually performing on the viewing, and obviously winning the trust of the landlord and getting the deal. Then there's obviously getting the deal over the line. And then once you're over the line with it, you've then got to set the property up. And
negotiations, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fun process though, isn't it?
It is, but massively rewarding. I think but it was only when probably I got the notification that I'd got the first booking, when I thought, right, okay, that was probably the one time when I was a bit like, oh, incredible, really, you know, what a feeling. This is what I'm doing it for, you know. And
that's it. And Lewis, how has your life, or like your mindset, changed since then, like since we started working together?
Yeah, incredible. As I've said previously, probably been quite a negative year for me, just work-wise, and obviously the stuff around kind of redundancy, then obviously getting a different role and just being different. So I needed something to kind of really pick me up and attack, and my mindset now is completely different. Like, I come into it, you'll probably remember, and I was like, you know, I just want to earn kind of £400 or £500 a month. You know what I mean? That'll do me. Just a little extra on top, because I've lost a job that was earning more money, so I just want to kind of even up, you know what I mean, what I've lost, kind of thing. And now I'm like, I want to go full time with the business, and I want to get more units, and I'm almost being like, you know, like I want more, but I want it now, you know. So I'm kind of really set and driven. But you can anything you put your mind to, you can do, can't you? You know.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. I'm really big on that. So what do you think made the biggest difference in your success after starting working with me?
I just think you structured everything so well, and you knew exactly what needed to be done. It cut out probably 2 months worth of kind of time, you know. So it happened so quick just through your guidance. I think it was the speed and the time. And as you know,
100%, I agree.
Time is money, isn't it? You know, so
that's it. I think it's definitely like the speed of implementing things as well. You know, it's like I make it as simple as possible for you. I just say, right, look, go do that, say this, and you just flew out there and just absolutely smashed it. You know,
the thing is, it's pointless sitting down, doing something, having a conversation, and then doing nothing. What's the point, you know? Like, and then and then you'd be moaning in 3 or 4 weeks, nothing's changed, but you've got to do it yourself, haven't you? So, and the guidance was there from you, so you know, it was a no-brainer, really.
No, good stuff. If you had to pick one thing about the mentorship, what would you say like helped you the most?
Like I previously said, setting up of the business, you were always on hand. I think as well, you were like, if ever I needed anything, like, could just message and you'd reply. You know, you were on the ball with it. It wasn't like I never felt as well like I was mithering. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes you actually said to me like, just message me. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I wouldn't, and you could just message me. It. You know, because that's what I'm here for. So I think just the fact that you're always on hand, you're literally there, kind of every step of the way, and just the time that's been saved from it, really.
No, good stuff. And now that you're all set up, you've got the Airbnb business running, you've got the cash coming in. What's your plans moving forward with it?
Obviously, I'm viewing now. I'm doing viewings for more. You know, I am.
Yeah.
There's not a humongous cost to it. There's not people out there. There really isn't a humongous cost. You know, like and something else you helped me with which was great was the wording of like, you know, getting out of like the deposit, for example, which I've not paid for any, because you know, at the end of the day we need to remember we're doing a service for the landlord, you know, so why would we pay a deposit? We wouldn't.
Exactly. And obviously also we're taking deposits from clients, you know. But yeah, that's a great point. I think that's something that a lot of people, when they're without having the help from obviously someone that's done it time and time again, little things like this can sometimes scare you off the deal completely, you know. Like if you don't sort of know how to get around it, you know, any of these little issues with landlords, they could sometimes mess the whole deal up. Whereas, you know, by having me there, any objection, we're going to overcome it and we're going to get around it. We're going to wiggle our way around it.
I must say as well, years ago, you know, years ago, I worked in property. I was a estate agent, letting agents, so I'd work with landlords, and I was like, when you were saying like we don't really do deposits, in my head I'm thinking that's crazy, impossible. Landlords always do deposits, but you know, once I started obviously selling up what I do, and then I started going, actually I'm right, you know, like I am right, you know, and why would we, that's, you know, so
you also negotiated a rent-free period, no?
Yeah, I did 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Insane,
period.
mate.
No deposit.
Absolutely insane. And the thing is, now that you've gone through this deal and you've also negotiated both of them terms, moving forward now, it's like, you know exactly how to negotiate no deposit and how to get your rent-free period, you know, which a lot of people obviously they wouldn't.
Yeah. But what I would add as well is that obviously the original property that I went for and we'd agreed, and we were actually like 24 hours away from signing. It was that close.
Yeah.
And then the mortgage, due to him having a company let, mortgage term wouldn't allow him to do it. You were great at picking me up, you know what I mean, straight after, because it's quite deflating when you put all the work in, you get that far, and then you can see it, and then it obviously, and it was just like landlord wanted to do it, he was made up with it. And then it didn't happen, and obviously for a couple of days you're kind of on floor a little bit because you put so much into it. But you were great at saying, let's get on the laptop, let's have a call, and let's get a new plan in place how we move forward. And we did that, and you know, I just followed your lead, really.
No, you smashed it, mate. And Lewis, be honest, did you ever doubt that this would work? And then what changed your mind?
Yeah, obviously there's doubts, mate. Obviously that there is, because it's a bit unique. But the first booking, when I got that first booking, I was like, wow. You know, it's you know, the whole way that you push the contractor route as well is brilliant. Like I won't touch a 2-bed, won't touch it. Apartments, won't touch him. You know, like the landlord that I've got now has an apartment in Manchester that he's like, oh, I've done a good job for him. So he's kind of like, it's coming up in early next year, so I'd like to look at it. And you know, I said to him, maybe if we can do it managed.
For anyone sitting on the fence about joining and working with myself, what would you say to them?
Do it. Go and do it, you know. And what I liked as well about you, to be fair, Luca, was when I was on the fence, I didn't sign straight away. I kind of left the conversation for 24 hours, but then I reached out to you and I was like, and you were like, jump on the call, and you just jumped on a call with me, which put me at ease, you know what I mean? And guys, just do it, because you've got all this potential in front of you. The earnings could really be incredible. And it could be a start of something else, you know. The rent to rent, the management model, it doesn't just have to be that, does it? You know, the more money you get, the more you can go into other parts of property, can't you, as well, you know? So but it's a great starter. It's a great starter to scale and get money and get experience dealing with landlords, dealing with people that numerous properties every single day, you know what I mean? Management companies, you know, they have all sorts of these people, you know, and you're just dealing with them. You're gaining experience every day, aren't you?
100%, bro. Mate, it's been a pleasure, obviously, watching your journey, and I just can't wait to sort of get the back end system set up for you now and just see where we can take it. Yeah, no, it's all about the future. One thing about it, don't look back, forward, isn't it? You know, and that's the aim of the game, mate. Let's get the next unit. No, great stuff, man. No, I appreciate it, Lewis, man. Honestly, it's been sick, bro. It's been sick, mate.